welcome back. Happy bowl season. We're going to be rocking some bowl picks on here. We're going to go through every single bowl game and have a pick for all of them. I love bowl season. We have our first two bowl games this Saturday, plus Army Navy. That's what we're picking here. It's very difficult to predict bowl season with all the opt outs and transfers, but we're going to give it a go. Go light if you're following, but man, do I love this. And we are starting on Saturday. We've got the Cricket Celebration Bowl. This is the ninth annual Celebration Bowl, being the successor to the Pelican Bowl and the Heritage Bowl. It pits the two FCS HBCU conference champions against each other in a de facto HBCU national championship game. North Carolina A&T won the first one in 2015, would win 4 of the first 5. The MEAC has dominated the series, winning 6 of the previous 8 games over the SWAC. Still last year, the SWAC champion Florida A&M took the game over the Howard Bison. In this one, we get Jackson State from the SWAC, South Carolina State from the MEAC. Jackson State's 5th in the nation in the FCS in points per game. They're 84th in passing offense, but 7th in rushing offense. With starting quarterback Jacobian Morgan injured, much of the load of the offense is going to move to Irv Mulligan. He ran 179 times this year for 1,168 yards and 11 scores. South Carolina State was 12th in points per game this year. They were 18th in yards per game. They're 11th in passing yards, 57th in the running yards. And starting quarterback Eric Phoenix is going to be out for them. That's going to put pressure on Caden High. He has to keep up his production. High comes into the game with 58 receptions for 892 yards and 7 touchdowns. This is the second time South Carolina State's been in the Celebration Bowl. They won this in 2021, beating Jackson State. This is going to be the third time for Jackson State being in the Celebration Bowl. They lost in 2021 and they lost in overtime in 2022. As I said, MEAC dominating this series. South Carolina State, they can possess the ball. They create turnovers, and I think they're going to get into the backfield of Jackson State a good amount in this one. With both starting quarterbacks out, I think defense is going to be the difference, and I like South Carolina State here. Give me South Carolina State money line, minus 120 on FanDuel. Next up, we have the Salute to Veterans Bowl. This was originally branded as the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl. It's played at the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. This game's been known as the Camellia Bowl since its inception. Raycom Media sponsored it 2014 to 18, TaxAct in 2021. This is the first year as the Salute to Veterans Bowl. This game normally has a combination of a MAC team, a Sun Belt team, and a Conference USA team appearing in it. Bowling Green won the inaugural Camellia Bowl. They defeated South Alabama in 2014. And this is going to be the second appearance in this game for South Alabama as they play Western Michigan. Western Michigan's appearing in this game for the first time, but the MAC has won 2 straight and 3 of the last 4 here. South Alabama this year was 61st in the nation in points per game. They were 80th in yards per game, 93rd in running yards, and 45th in passing. But Gio Lopez, their quarterback, is injured. One of their major contributors, running back Fluff Bothwell, is moving to the transfer portal. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Jamal Pritchett. Pritchett had 91 receptions for 1,127 yards and 9 scores this year. Meanwhile, Western Michigan was 65th in the nation in passing or points per game, 100th in yards per game, 49th in the run game, 113 in the passing game. Their top player was tight end Blake Bosma. He's in the transfer portal. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Jaden Nixon. Nixon had 132 carries this year for 874 yards and 12 touchdowns. South Alabama was 5-7 against the spread this year, as was Western Michigan. Western Michigan struggled down the stretch run of the season, though. They're going to be missing their top receiver, who would have gone against the weakness of South Alabama. South Alabama's missing Fluff Bagwell, but they have Kentrell Bullock to replace him. Bullock was relied on a lot this year. He actually had the most carries on the team. And with Gio Lopez potentially out, he's going to be relied on again. They have the better defense. South Alabama has a more intact offense. Take them. South Alabama, minus 7.5, minus 110 on MGM. Finally, we have America's game. It's Army Navy. This is the 125th meeting between the two schools dating back to 1890. Navy leads the all-time series, 62 wins. Army has 55 wins, and there have been 7 ties. Navy won every matchup from 2002 to 2015. Since then, Army's won 6 of 8, including winning the last 2, defeating Navy 17 to 11 last year. The winner of this game is going to take the Commander-in-Chief trophy. Army has won or retained the trophy 3 of the last 4 years, 5 of the last 7. Still, Army has outright won the trophy just 10 times this overall. Navy's 39th in the nation in points per game. They're 77th in yards per game. They're 5th in rushing yards while sitting 131st in passing yards. With Blake Horvath battling injury, the key player in this one's going to be Alex Texa. Texas second on the team in rushing this year. He has 101 carries for 501 yards and 7 touchdowns. Army, 30th in the nation in points per game. They're 52nd in yards per game. They're the best running offense in the nation this year while sitting 134th in the pass. Bryson Daly leads this offense. He's thrown 78 passes this year, completing 45 of them for 877 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's been intercepted just once. Daly's also a major part of the running game. He's run 264 times for 1,480 yards and scored 29 times on the ground. That touchdown mark right there is tied with Ashton Jeanty for the most in the nation. Makes it a shame he's not going to New York as a Heisman candidate. Navy's just 7-4 against the spread this year, but 2-2 as an underdog. Meanwhile, Army's 9-3 against the spread this year. Further, both teams have seen the over hit in 7 games this year. There are a few key factors to this game. First is the red zone. Navy's 72nd in the red zone scoring. Army is 2nd in red zone defense. Army's also 13th in the nation in red zone scoring this year. The second's running the ball. Navy's not been great against the run. Army's the best running offense in the nation. Finally, Navy turns over the ball 1.2 times per game, while Army has 1.5 takeaways per game, sitting 5th in the nation in turnover margin. That right there is the difference. Give me Army minus 6.5, minus 107 on ProfitX. But I really do think Army's going to put up points in this game. So we go for 2 right here. I like the over in this. Normally, service academies, you take the under. This is at 38.5. I really think Army's going to put up 24 to 28 points in this one. Take the over 38.5, minus 110 on Hard Rock. Let's recap. We got South Carolina State money line, South Alabama minus 7.5, Army minus 6.5, and the Army Navy over 38.5. If you like this content, hit that like button, share it with your friends, subscribe. We're going to be back here shortly with our midweek bowl picks for next week. We're going to do the conference or the CFP picks separately. We're going to cover all the bowl games. Make sure to hang around.